You do a test recording? Does it sound okay?
Uh-oh, there's something weird going on. Oh, there we go.
Thank you for downloading the Make and Break podcast. For more information, visit us at makebreakshow.com.
This is Make and Break.
Came up with this idea earlier today to make a regular habit of masturbating with antibacterial cream so that it works into your skin, and then you would be like antibacterialized from STDs.
Yeah,
The
you
problem
couldn't pick them up.
Well, I'm just thinking the problem is that it dries out so quickly. You're chafing pretty bad.
Just buy big vats of it.
It's a yeah, exactly. You're not masturbating with. You're masturbating in.
Plus, I hate to be the hardcore realist here. I don't know how many STDs are bacteria. Not to mention the fact that administering antibacterial agents to yourself when you're not infected with bacteria will create superbacterium bacteria. So yeah, take that, herpes. Take triple antibiotic ointment.
Have you ever made the mistake of using Flexol 454 to masturbate
No.
with?
Flexol 454.
Yeah, that was a mistake.
What-
It's because it's
what
like
is that?
icy hot.
Oh,
So
it's
you get
icy
you get the
hot.
icy first, and then you get the burning sensation.
I have never
which-
made that mistake.
because it's like a muscle rub, so you think that's a big muscle, maybe. So you think,
You
that stuff
testicle
feels
much.
pretty good. So then you put that on your Wang Chung, and you start rubbing it in, and then you start getting to it, and it's icy at first. So you're like, okay, this is kind of exotic.
Exotic.
Yeah.
It's imported.
And then you wait about 2 minutes, and then you have this burning sensation happening.
And that stuff doesn't just wash off, right?
No.
So once you realize
So
that it's
then
a
once
bad
it starts
idea,
burning, then you're trying to put water on it, and it's an oil-based solution. So you're putting water on your
Wang Chung.
Wang Chung, if you will, and it's like
William.
dripping off of it because it's like oily, and it's a great time.
You're listening to Make and Break episode I Don't Know, visiting the chairman. Joining us today are Nate Belangi and Zach and Remo, the black dog in the cage.
Previously known as Jorge.
That's
You
not
may remember him from an earlier episode.
that's not some sort of twisted code. It literally is a canine animal dog in a cage. That's not some sort of.
Was that
Not kidding.
condensation on the bathroom floor the other day around the toilet, or should I just not think about that too much?
Or was it?
It was one of those
Were you
moments where,
barefoot?
as I was wearing shorts, and I had to go, and the short cuff, the leg cuffs ended up touching the floor without my knowledge. So then I'm walking around, and I'm sitting there thinking, well, it was a hot day. There's a lot of people using the toilet. It might have been toilet tank sweat that had made the floor wet, or I have many different people's urine all over the back of my legs now.
Well, it's sterile, so
Yeah, that's really one of those things that just doesn't bear thinking about. It's like if you really want to, you could drive yourself crazy think about all the urine that's out there.
I don't usually think about it. I think what started it was while I was originally looking at the situation. There was some kind of weird toweling mess that I think that it was such a hot day that the chefs were having to cornstarch themselves, and one or two of them didn't bother to really tidy up their mess afterward.
Cornstarch themselves?
Yes, please explain.
Cornstarch on the balls and on the taint. Working on
No,
the hot.
no. You speak of this as if this is something
This
every
is
person
Gold
should
Bond
know.
medicated.
Yeah, working on the hotline.
Oh,
It's not.
okay.
You're not just like walking around. Oh, it's a hot day. I've got a little bit of swamp garage. They're standing next to stuff that's just hotter than all hell,
Right.
and they can't. And it's just
And it's waist height.
yep.
So the highest
That's
that's
no
right
longer
next.
swamp crotch. That becomes bog crotch.
Yeah, I've actually never gold bonded or cornstarched that area.
Neither have I.
No.
I think that you just. Apparently, the cornstarch works, and there's cases of it already around, and so they just grab it, and that's where once a month. What they share the cornstarch.
Double dipping.
Double dip in the cornstarch.
Yeah.
So you guys are visiting the island today. Or today? Hell, the whole weekend.
Yeah.
Been having a lot of fun.
It's great up here.
It's good. It's a beautiful.
Boozing down.
It's a beautiful country.
It's a beautiful part of the country.
It's lovely.
Yeah. It really is.
And the wonderful thing now is that next time you're having wine and cheese with friends, you can say, "Oh, have you been?"
I mean, we just drove up from Muncie the other day. We're from Muncie, Indiana, and we have Wisconsin accents. But,
Throwing the rocks around.
throwing some racks.
Throwing
around.
some rocks around. Oh, I saw it was something interesting. People stacking rocks in the water. They're sitting out there with flat rocks
From the north side of the island.
on the north side of the island, the prettiest part of the island.
The best part of
according
the
to
island,
Zach.
definitely.
And there's dudes out there taking flat rocks and stacking them up about, I don't know, 3-4 feet as high as they could. And I don't know what that's all about. Do you guys?
Jim knows.
Apparently there was a guy in San Francisco or someplace in California that would go out on the beach and stack rocks like a Zen kind of thing.
Okay.
And somehow there was a fair amount of attention paid to this. And all the Fish fans learned of this thing.
It all comes back.
Fish the band, I'm assuming.
Fish the band. And then so now that all the Fish so now all the Fish fans, as they communicate through their telepathy that they all have, I think it's just, I don't think it's telepathy, I think it's some kind of communication via pot smoke.
Pot smoke signals.
Smoke signals.
I was
yeah,
up.
yeah.
We're on the same wavelength, bro.
And they have communicated to one another that we can pretend to be Zen by stacking up rocks, allowing your Birkenstocks to get
Safety.
wet. I've actually seen some interesting ones. We saw I saw one the other day that it was actually a bit architectural in the sense that it was a couple of stacks that were short. There was a large flat rock bridging the two, and then more added to that, and then more flat ones bridging, and it ended up being rather elaborate. I lived in it for a night. It was pretty nice.
I'm really, really disappointed to learn that's a Fish fan thing. I thought it was just something else entirely.
Well, it didn't start as a Fish fan thing. It actually has.
It actually started as a Grateful Dead fan thing.
But then Jerry died, and all the fans transferred their allegiance to this other band.
So they take their stacking of rocks with them.
We transferred our
He died.
allegiance.
Through pot smoke.
That's exactly
he
how it
died
worked.
because of a hippie coup.
Right.
That's one of the lesser popular conspiracy theories.
Right. It was a conspiracy executed by the Hot Tuna Army.
Oh.
I suspect Jefferson Airplane may have been involved. Speaking of jam bands,
I want to listen to Jelly Bands.
Send me on my way. Oh, send me on my way. Oh, send me on my way.
I think that was the
It all
first
comes
CD I
into
ever
Rusted.
sold.
Rusted Root. It all comes back to Rusted Root.
whatever happened to those guys
It
anyway?
was also the first CD you sold the day you bought it.
December 26th, immediately to the record exchange. Can I have...
It depreciated 900% in value.
Well, they're from Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh,
Uh-huh.
Pittsburgh's Rusted Root.
the Steel City.
The Steel City.
They Pittsburgh owns them. It's Pittsburgh's Rusted Root. There's a possessive there.
I'm really surprised to learn that they're from Pittsburgh. I didn't know that.
And then does the Rusted come from Steel City? And then the roots are there? I mean, maybe it's...
Oh!
Yeah.
I think you just figured them out.
Because
I
they're from
think-
Pittsburgh and it's rusting, all the steel's rusting, and that's their roots.
I think the Roots has something to do with pot plants.
The band? The Roots?
No, the Rusted Roots.
The Rusted Roots. And pot plants. The Roots would be the pot plants. Uh-huh.
Call it a hunch, but I think one or two of those guys in that band may have smoked a joint once or twice. in
The
their
second
lives.
one didn't inhale.
Yeah.
That,
He's actually
wait,
a pot
on
smoking poser. He just
on-
pretends.
On a
I
podcast,
was just
what is
trying to
this?
look
Is
cool.
that libel or slander? What are we dealing with here? You're throwing out some pretty heavy accusations there, Mr. Zach.
Libel is written, slander is spoken.
All right, so
Okay.
Make and Break Podcast does not endorse the opinions of Zach and the fact that he thinks the members of Rusted Root may or may not have had a joint or two in their lives.
A little baby.
My favorite T-shirt I've seen, we're in a touristy location. There's lots of customized T-shirts, lots of iron-on style T-shirts. Basically, you can tell they just order these en masse from some bulk supplier of these random pop culture things. This was back in probably 2001, but it was the Taco Bell Chihuahua fighting the reinvented American Godzilla, and it said some sort of like Yukiro Taco Bell Godzilla, but the best part about it is they had customized it so that in the corner it said Mackinac City. So, what do any of these things have to do?
Where is the nearest Taco Bell?
Yeah, Petoskey, about an hour away.
That's far.
Where's the nearest Godzilla is what I want to know.
I've always liked those T-shirts too. Like a T-shirt that states something as completely irrelevant as "Suck my dick, Grandpa," and then down on the bottom of the
That
shirt
is
tail.
my favorite shirt. Don't
down
rip on my shirt.
on the shirt tail, Mackinac Island in cursive.
Yeah. I would wear every single day actually a T-shirt with Spud McKenzie saying, "Where's the beef?" Mackinac Island, Michigan.
But sketched out like the AHA video.
Yeah. In hypercolor. Remember the 90s? We listened to so much Fish and Rusted Root and Ben Harper.
Oh, so it's just so the 90s were a lot like 2010.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh, we forgot about Sublime.
If you're some people.
Sublime.
Sublime, dude.
No, it's Sublime.
Sublime.
It's not. Yeah, a lot of people think that it's sublime, like the ecstasy, the perfection of something.
Mm-hmm.
The band's name is actually Sublime. They're
So it's before
they're
Lime.
actually not as good as Lime,
Yeah.
which sucks. Yeah, that makes sense. I'm gonna stick with that. What a terrible band.
What a terrible band.
So we were riffing on them a few days ago, and so I decided to read a little bit about them, so I knew a little more about them. I found out that they're getting back together with a new singer-guitarist, a really, really young kid to replace the guy who died. And I also read that a few years ago, this band, I think they're called Dogfish, a Sublime cover band that tours the country, possibly even the world, playing to bigger audiences than Sublime ever did, reaping the rewards for whatever work that Sublime did with their music. I don't know. I mean, it's not my cup of tea. It's not my syringe of heroin, but
That's not my nose full of cocaine,
but clearly it did something for a lot of people. But then this cover band came along and reaped the rewards, and that just amused me to no end. So now they feel entitled. Well, I suppose they are entitled to do however the hell they want to with a new singer or whatever. Won't make their music any better.
Nothing ever will,
No.
except a complete change of members.
In the glory days of Napster, I used to look for Fugazi MP3s. I found a song called Fugazi by the Long Beach Dub All Stars, a spin-off of Sublime.
Oh, the
after they died.
LBDAs.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And it's
BDAs.
Yeah. And that song, it's like this dubbed out college rock version. It's the bass line from Waiting Room, and the guy's singing lyrics from Minor Threat songs on top. It's a sacrilege on 3, possibly 4 different levels.
Multifaceted sacrilege.
Yeah.
But not on the Sublime recording. 'Cause
No.
We,
No, fuck that shit.
Jeremy, maybe you can help me out with this. Forget how the British spell things.
It's very hard.
Why do they use
I'm
A10?
pretty sure they spell it the same way as everybody else. THINGS.
They don't
What's
use
up with them using A10 paper? Do they have that much more to say?
Yeah.
810?
Never mind.
Hey, how big is A10 paper?
It's like 3 inches longer and about a half an inch wider than the 8.5 by 11.
It's longer and wider, huh?
That's what I was kind of going for.
Oh, sorry.
That's like Michigan shorthand for that's what she said. That's it. That's it. Somebody just uttered a sexual innuendo double entendre. We say while sticking out your tongue.
And waving it, hopefully.
Yes. Did anybody see The Simpsons last weekend?
Has anyone seen The Simpsons in the last couple of years?
Yeah, exactly.
They updated their animation and downgraded their jokes. I don't know.
Since they did the movie, I don't like watching it as much because it seems too good.
Too polished.
Yeah.
Too corporate.
Yeah.
There's got to be conspiracy theory there. They
I
can
like
break
just-
podcast will return right after this cigarette break.
Yeah.